Heading into the 2020-21 NBA season, many fans were concerned if we'll ever see Steph Curry playing at the level he was playing at before the hand injury and an almost one-year break from the NBA during the crazy 2019-20 season. Many critics doubted Steph Curry, and of course, lots of unpleasant comments started to surface before the beginning of the new season. Steph is overrated. He is nothing but a shooter. He's a prop, only makes an impact when he has all-star teammates. It didn't take long until Curry responded with action rather than words. "I take all that personally," said Steph right after the highest-scoring game both in the current season and his career with 62 points scored. Today, we'll discuss if Steph Curry may already be one of the greatest guards of all time, and we'll analyze if Curry can still hold up to the title of the best shooter in NBA history. But before that, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to get updates on our latest NBA content. Make sure to watch until the end and find out what are Curry's chances to be declared the best point guard of all time. Enjoy watching. Let's keep rolling. 2 months in the 2020-21 season, and all those concerns were proved to be wrong, with Steph leading the league in three-pointers made with a 41.3% accuracy rate, total points in a season, three-pointers made in a single game with 11 jumpers from downtown. He's currently sitting in 4th place in points per game and having 2 of the highest scoring games in the current season with 62 points, which is 1st place, and 57 points, which is 3rd place, respectively. While shutting down the haters, Steph Curry has brought new topics to the table to discuss with his stellar performances in the last 2 months. The subject is whether Steph Curry's an alien, and how could it possibly be that he's playing almost as good as he was playing during his legendary unanimous MVP season in 2015-2016? Jokes aside, a lot of people started to believe that Steph Curry's game is at the same godlike level as it was 6 years ago, and as they say, numbers don't lie. So we can easily prove it by comparing his current season stats to the 15-16 season side by side. In that season, he averaged 30.1 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, 6.7 assists per game, a 50.4% field goal percentage, 45.4% three-pointers field goal percentage, and a 90.8 free throw accuracy. In the current season, he is averaging 29.5 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, 6.4 assists per game, 47.8% field goal percentage, 41.3% three-point field goal percentage, and a 93.8% free throw accuracy. Numbers are almost equal, with a slightly smaller amount of points and assists per game and a 4% drop in three-point field goal percentage, but with a 3% increase in free throw accuracy. Of course, the 2020-21 season is far from over, but we already see that Curry is almost at his MVP season pace and is far from being a prop. But even without this comparison, even without his wonderful 62-point game, does he need to prove something at this point? I don't really think so. While critics think that this season will be a final factor in shaping Curry's legacy, my opinion is that Steph has already secured his spot in the list of basketball GOATs. Moreover, I already can easily place him at the top of the best point guards in history. Yes, you've heard that right. I think that Curry is just as good or is on par with Magic Johnson and John Stockton. More on that later. To many, this might seem like blasphemy, as Magic has been considered the greatest point guard of all time for 3 long decades, but today the gap between Curry and Johnson is narrower than you could ever think. And what about Stockton? I'll make it brief. I consider him the best pure point guard, assist-first mentality, great shooting, and decent defense in the history of the game, and it's pointless to compare him to Magic or even Curry, as they have absolutely different play styles. There are no active NBA players who are on pace to break Stockton's all-time assists record or even get close to it. The other thing is that Stockton's personal credentials seem less impressive than Magic or Curry's, but that's the situation where titles and rings can't display a player's true greatness. So I would respectfully put Stockton in third place of the greatest PGs, but for me, he is number one when it comes to the classic understanding of the point guard role. Now, let's talk about Magic. Sure, it's a tough one to discuss, but I'd like to narrow the gap between Curry and Johnson in the best point guard debate. Let's take and compare career numbers. Scoring. Magic Johnson had one of the best years amongst any point guards in 1986-87. He averaged 23.9 points per game and hit 12.2 assists per game. Johnson contributed 24.4 points per game to the Lakers off his passing alone. At his 23.9 points per game, and we get 48.3 points every night for the Lakers. Steph Curry, on the other hand, had a great year in 2015-16. He was scoring 30 points per game and 6.7 assists per game. Although the Warriors were primarily a three-point shooting team, Curry not only excelled as a scorer, but he also helped in getting his teammates to shoot threes throughout the season. It's hard to say that Curry isn't close to the level of Magic's greatness, just given that Curry fundamentally changed the modern NBA game. Countering the widespread opinion that Curry plays good only with MVPs, the current season shows Steph's capability to carry a truly bad team. You can't say that Magic ever had a chance to solely lead one, playing with the likes of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and a defensive juggernaut in Michael Cooper. The results of the 2020-21 season wouldn't shape Curry's legacy in any form, but it will certainly solidify it and will finally establish him as the best point guard of all time. As for rebounding, Curry has lower rebounds per game, 4.6, while Magic had 7.2, but considering the fact that Magic is 6 inches taller at 6'9", Steph's RPG numbers are not outstanding, but are pretty decent by modern day's PG standards. One of the most overlooked sides of Steph Curry's game is his tremendous off-ball game. Curry is not only an assassin from the three-point line, but he's also an elite off- and on-ball playmaker. When Steph is the ball handler on P&Rs, he has the highest amount of points per direct pick in the league. Also, his prominent dribbling skills were even recognized by the almighty god of dribble, Allen Iverson. In the interview for Showtime Sports, he said, "Those guys, Curry and Kyrie, are next level. I didn't have the handle they do." Coming from arguably the best dribbler in the history of the basketball, it tells a lot about Curry's often underestimated dribbling skills. I think it's hard to compare Curry and Magic, but I do believe that days, when the choice for the best PG of all time was obvious, are over. You simply cannot ignore Stephen Curry when it comes to the discussion of who is the greatest point guard in NBA history. Period. Now, when we took a closer look at Curry's competition to get that number one title, we can actually talk about his own milestones, records, and impact without comparisons, because to be honest, there are not many players that match to Steph's skills. Stephen Curry is the all-time best free throw shooter with 90.78% accuracy. During his 15-16 season, his jersey was the top seller among 47 states, with only LeBron, KD, and Kobe leading sales in 4 other states. Stephen Curry's three-point shooting ability is legendary. The biggest amount of three-pointers made in a single season, 402 in the 2015-16 season. Fewest amount of games played to reach 1,000 in 369 games, and 2,000 in 597 games of career three-pointers. 4 threes made, along with 4 assists recorded, 269 games. 5 threes made, along with 5 assists recorded, 165 games. Simply put, he's the greatest three-point shooter of all time. Stephen Curry is the true pioneer of three-point shooting, and he definitely reintroduced and refined the art of long range, revolutionizing the whole game of basketball, where a good three-point shooter is a must for any championship caliber team. So that's why I think Curry is the best PG of all time. If you don't agree with my opinion, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think And once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button to watch out for the best NBA content.